All right, what's going on, everybody? My name is David Payne. I'm the owner of Everything Credit LLC, and today is interview number 3 with Edward Fay. We planned on just doing 3, but there will probably be another one, so look out for a part 4. Edward, first, I want to say thanks for doing this. Means a lot. We appreciate you taking the time out of your day because I'm sure you're just as busy as the rest of us with work and life.
My pleasure, sir. Glad to be here.
All right, so we're going to start off going over something that was brought up in interview 2 because I've had several people reach out to me about this. So when Andre offered you $5,000 to basically physical assault someone and SA of the subject in front of his kids. Can you kind of reiterate that for us?
Yes. So there's actually two separate occasions on that sense. So there was the first one referenced where he offered me $5,000 to um, physical physical assault someone. It was just disgusting. It was he asked me to do that. Said he'd book me a Spirit Airlines flight, take the weekend off, go to Egypt, which makes no sense. One, but I'm not going to get into that. So that was one matter. There was a separate one where he was referring to a creditor that I have on my credit report that he would send one of his associates to SA, a higher level manager, in front of manager's family. So those were two different events itself, but that was him referencing that.
Right, right, absolutely. And that was the main thing, was getting that out there, so everybody kind of understood. Because I think people were kind of confused about who exactly we were talking about and whether it was just one situation or two different situations, like it was. So what are your thoughts about the $5,000 and the physical assault and SA of the subject wife in front of the kids?
It's a disgusting proposition. I mean, it's indicative of someone with very low moral integrity and someone who, pardon me, that's actually just a coworker bringing me washer fluid. It's indicative of someone who has zero moral framework, no integrity, and frankly does not want to do things the right way. That's my thoughts about that. Just very pragmatic and factual.
Right, right. Yeah. I mean, obviously when somebody's working on your credit, you want the stuff removed, but do you really want to go that far to have things removed? Me personally, no, that's just sick. That's my opinion. We all have one. Um, and yes, I'm reading, y'all. I got notes because I want to make sure that I get this right. Do you think anyone with less integrity or honor than you would do this for $5,000? And do you think it's possible he would ask somebody else to do the same thing?
Yes, I do think that. I'll elaborate on that. They'd have, I've you much like myself, you, me, we have a high degree of integrity and moral fortitude where that's something that's just unacceptable. Now, if someone who lacked the moral framework and intestinal fortitude, who were also in a desperate financial situation, I do think that if Andre asked them, that they would agree to that, especially if they could benefit financially. So, yes.
Right, right. No, I agree 100%. You find the right person that really needs the money, or, I hate to say it, but maybe even somebody that's addicted to drugs or something, trying to get their fix. There's really no limits to what they'll do for money. All right, so let's talk about the text message in regards to Andre switching out girls without them knowing about it. And I'll put them up on the screen for y'all. And I don't know if it's to the side, to the left, up. I don't know how to be. I'll figure that out um, when I edit it. But um, and then also, what do you think about him talking about how he's attracted to women, or we'll say girls, when they're basically at the age that they can breed, and referring back to the girl in the picture, do you think that this girl might be underage and possibly a victim of SA, and that Andrew is possibly a pedophile?
Oh, well, unequivocally, yes. And let me clarify on that. There's no definitive way to tell if she's underage. So you and I do believe in fairness, and that's something we're always going to
Absolutely.
do is extend that respect. So I'm not going to, make a definitive claim that she is underage because you and I don't know. That
Right.
being said, without a hint of a doubt, yes, I think she is a victim of SA because in the text messages, he was referencing a friend of his who wants to have a certain type of relations, if you will. I know we have to make this pretty family friendly for the platforms. He had a friend who in the text message he referenced who wanted to have relations with a Western woman who was not interested. That's where Andre referenced switching up and whatever arrangement he said he'd do, which without a doubt is absolutely SA, and she is without a doubt a victim of that.
Right. And just like me and most, would you say that you have concerns for the safety of young girls and women that are around Andre or Andrew, whatever his name is?
Yes, I have major concerns for just women in general, especially ones who are underage around Andre. I think it's not great for him to be in their presence.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think we've all learned from the part one and part two that pretty much anything Andre says about me, he's basically referring to himself. Calling me a pedophile, saying I like kids, said I had dead bodies in my barn, and he pointed out where I live, that I'm in a trailer park, which I'm not. It used to be a dirt road, which I don't understand what none of that matters. And the barn on the side of my house always had for 100 years that he keeps, stuff in, tools and parts for plumbing and electrical work. I mean,
I mean,
stuff
it's
like that
Backroads,
doesn't bother me.
Georgia, to be expected.
Right, right. I mean, absolutely, absolutely. Um, and as always, we're going to try to keep this short. So I've only got one more question or one more thing to go over, and then once you answer it, if you want to add anything to this, be my guest. Um, so, lastly, would you agree that Andre of Pinnacle Credit Repair or Pinnacle Credit Management, nobody knows, it's different every day, whichever scam works, I guess. Would you agree that he has anger issues, is a violent person, he is mentally ill with a lot of mental issues, narcissistic, an impulsive liar, and a person who is always seeking revenge, especially when people question him?
Yes, to all of the above, and I'm going to elaborate on that just for clarity and transparency for all of your viewers and whoever's watching. So yes, to all of the above. There is a track record that you and I are familiar with amongst other people that we associate with, where Andre has threatened their life and has even paid an individual allegedly to go harm them, and that individual was very much in real danger. So yes, in that sense, for anger's issues, violence. Yes, for narcissism, for the simple fact that not only me, other people that we associate with and know can attest to it. If he's questioned at all as far as the credit repair that he does, or anything for that matter, he comes undone. And that's just indicative of someone who is highly insecure, who doesn't want to answer to anyone or have any type of accountability. So, yes to all of the above.
Right, right. Absolutely. And I think anybody that's been watching all this unravel with me and him would agree. Um, but if I'm being honest, and I've said this before, the bickering back and forth, as childish as it is, I just want people to understand the reason I'm still in this fight. I have kids. I have daughters. He's brought my daughter into this. So for anybody that has kids, especially a daughter, they should understand how I feel. I don't want to stop until this guy's behind bars. I will not be happy until he's behind bars. If it costs me losing, business, so be it. I've got to get this guy away from everybody so he can stop scamming people, stop ripping them off, and stop taking advantage of them. It's just not right.
And what I'd like to add on to that, Dave, too, I know there's been commentary rendered, especially in your direction, about still being on the subject with Andre. Getting to know you for the past almost 2 months now, since we've started on this journey together, one thing that's become very apparent to me is you're a man of moral fortitude, high degrees of integrity, and this is not so. And you're allocating resources, for my understanding, to take this guy down. So this is more or less almost charity work in a sense for you. You're doing it for the good of the industry because you care about the credit repair industry and want it to thrive and have transparency. So this is something that you're doing as a professional and because you care about people. So if anyone's watching this, I'd like them to know, like, I understand where your commentary is coming from, but Dave is doing this for the greater good. And there's not many people in society left who have that kind of self-driven mission. So that's something I think everyone should commend Dave for. He's a great man for doing it.
And I appreciate that. Yeah. Even without Andre and Mike from the credit game and all these other scammers out there, Credit Repair already has a terrible, terrible name, track record, you name it. But it's because people like him who take advantage of people. Some people are doing credit sweeps. Some people they're not even doing any work. And if they are, all they got to be able to prove is that they sent a round of letters, and that's basically their proof that they done work. So they'll send that round of letters, or in Andre's case, he'll do the disputes online, which if you do a dispute online with Experian, that's it. Once it comes back verified, updated, or whatever, I promise you can no longer dispute it online. Now, that being said, because he's mentioned this and I already knew about it, the way to dispute with Experian, if you're going to do it that way, is to go to the Experian upload page, put all your personal information in. It has to be a PDF. So basically, the letter that you type up, you will upload it into Experian. Has to be a PDF. You have to compress it and upload it that way. Now, we do that too. Sometimes, not always. If we're not getting any movement, or they send a stall letter, then we'll upload it, and say, hey, this is proof that it's me. Because they're normally only going to send one or two at a time, because they know if they send three or four in a row, you've got them for a violation there for basically blatantly ignoring your dispute. Because no matter what they tell you, doesn't matter where it comes from. If you dispute something and somebody sends it in for you, long as you got the last four digits of the social, the required documents to prove that it's you or somebody that you gave permission to send the stuff in, their one job is to update that stuff and make it 100% accurate or delete it from your credit report. That's their only job. But as long as everybody has bad credit, they're making money selling your information to subprime borrowers, because they want to make the most money. They want the banks to make the most money. They don't care about you. They don't care about me. They don't care about none of that. And that's just the way it works. And nobody wants to hear that. But I guess we'll end it with this. I want to say we're maybe 4 weeks into your credit repair. Can you kind of go over what you've experienced so far as customer service, results, expectations, stuff like that?
Absolutely. I couldn't be happier. That's a straightforward and short form answer. To elaborate on that, you, like a previous video we've done together, you treated me with nothing but respect to the highest degree, set very clear, realistic expectations with me, been fully transparent and honest. No ambiguity, a matter of fact. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Couldn't be happier. In addition to that, 2 deletions came off from rather large medical bills that previously Pinnacle got removed and were put back on within 2 days. They continued to stay off thus far. incredible work. I mean, I couldn't be happier, and I'm super excited to continue working with you and seeing how things unfold.
I appreciate that. So to kind of elaborate on what he done wrong or what he should have done in that situation. So if an item is reinserted on your credit report, they have to mail you something stating that they're going to report it back to your credit report and why they're going to report it. Now, a lot of times what will happen is, so they're given 30 days to investigate from the day they receive it. However, they have the option to ask for a 15-day extension, and there's nothing you can do about that. So with him disputing online, or if that's what he does, he uses ACAT, he calls it, whatever, could have had a lot to do with it. I've seen a lot of reinsertions with people that dispute online. I know people, I'm friends with people that dispute online. And they do it really, really cheap because it doesn't cost them any money. They're literally just hopping on the computer, logging into your TransUnion, logging into your Equifax, logging into your Experian, and disputing online. It'll take them 10, 15 minutes per bureau, and they're done. But they make the most money because there's no expense. They don't have to have a printer. They don't have to buy paper. They don't have to buy ink. And let me tell you, ink is outrageous. It is outrageous, but it's part of it. They don't have to send certified mail. Look, as you can see, I got stacks and stacks and stacks. I don't know if y'all can how well y'all can see that, but I've got so many of these things. It's not even funny. But you want to have that sort of stuff, just in case you have to sue if there's a violation there. Because what a lot of people don't understand that are kind of getting into the pre-litigation is, if you don't send that certified and the violation's there, it's going to be a lot harder to prove because you don't have no proof they received it. But I kind of got off topic there. Do you have anything else you want to add before we end this?
Yes, there's one other thing I wanted to add on to what you referenced about ACAT. ACAT doesn't exist. So Andre uses actually, he doesn't use Credit Repair Cloud. He hires someone for $6 an hour off of Upwork to do his disputes, and that individual, who I'm not going to name for professional reasons, does the disputes on behalf of Andre. That's also including his hire me option, which just means he makes more money with less overhead. So ACAT does not exist. The person he hires off of Upwork for $6 an hour uses Credit Repair Cloud. If you're a client of Pinnacle currently or thinking about being with Pinnacle, that's how they do their disputes. It's that simple. ACAT doesn't exist, but that's all I have to say.
Yeah. And I'll end it with this because I will say his name. I know exactly who it is. His name is Tanmay, and he is from India. I have no problem with somebody from India or nothing like that. The issue is, because there's so many credit repair companies that do this. I'm telling you, over 90% of credit repair companies do this because they make so much money. The problem is, you're paying somebody a wage so cheap, so low, that most of these people are going to take that personal information from your client and sell it on the black market. They're going to sell that social. They're going to sell all that person's personal information so they can make a decent wage. And that's why a lot of people just aren't successful when they use people like him. Like I said in the last interview, I'm not trying to make these videos to pick on him or anything like that. I'm being as honest and transparent, and everything's factual. We can back up everything that we're saying, everything that we're showing, from the text messages, you name it. We're going to show the truth and nothing but the truth. We're not going to do like he does and just create fake websites about me like he does, because who does that? Especially a CEO. I'm not a CEO. I do own my company, but I'm not a CEO. There is a difference in a CEO and an owner. But that's to be debated too, because one minute he's the CEO, one minute he's not the CEO. He's got a silent partner, I've heard. Just you don't know what to believe with him. But anyway, again, Edward, I appreciate you hopping on here. It means a lot to me and everybody else. I'm glad we were able to go over this and kind of give people a better understanding of what we were talking about in part 2. And there will be a part 4, whether it's with me or with Stanley. Hopefully with Stanley. Stanley is way better at these interviews. Like I said, I get nervous. I don't know why. I can make my regular YouTube videos and I'm fine, but when it comes to doing the interviews, I just get really nervous for whatever reason. But yeah, thanks again. And if y'all have any questions, leave them in the comments. Have a great night.